Welcome, FNews57 here. Once again, I'm on my Xbox Series X. Today on Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, and I am bringing you another video for the hidden changes to DMZ. Now, this is extremely annoying, so here we have the Week 2 update, November 22nd patch notes. You can scroll through them in-game if you would like to do so. That is entirely up to you. I'm just going to quickly go through here. There's some things down here for issues in DMZ specifically, but that's it. And for anyone who's been playing DMZ, you may have noticed a few things, or you may not have, especially if you are new to DMZ. So I'm going to take in some basic stuff, and I'm just going to show you one of the first things that did change. You're probably aware of this already, but a lot of the weapons have gained additional maximum levels, unlocking other attachments that you could possibly use when you get those levels. But that's not what the main focus of this video is. That's just a clever little footnote. So the biggest thing is DMZ just got a hell of a lot harder and more annoying. So if you've been playing and you found the game more difficult all of a sudden, or if you're just starting off and it seems to be impossible, or just there's this extra ton of PvP and third partying and all sorts of stuff going on in the DMZ that really didn't happen at launch, this is why. And I'll also share my thoughts on the updates as well at the end of the video. But personally, I'm against these updates. So there's going to be two huge things, plus a couple of small things. If you like the long format video, slap the like button, maybe consider subscribing for extra content. But what we're going to start off with is a massive buff to the bosses. So for those of you that haven't played DMZ, there's two separate bosses on the map. There's a Juggernaut that has a loot case. That's the weapon case that you can extract for some guaranteed rewards if you're successful in killing the Juggernaut and extracting the case. And then there is also a radiation zone with the Chemist that has the M13B weapon that you can get to unlock. Now, obviously, you can play this game mode in solo or co-op. And the first thing that I'm going to show you is the massive change to the very annoying, already annoying bosses. So one of the small changes I just want to point out in the very beginning before we get there is you can no longer animation cancel or cancel a reload at all, which doesn't matter too much on regular weapons. But if you notice, I'm going to start the reload on this LMG, which has an incredibly long reload time, and then I'm going to melee to interrupt that, which before allowed you to cancel the reload animation and restart the reload when you wanted. Now you can no longer do that. So that is an annoying change. Very conveniently, I am located right here next to the Chemist, which is awesome. This little radiation area on the map is where the Chemist spawns. This little area that's marked with the yellow briefcase is where the weapon case spawns. You can go to either one, and it's relatively easy. So before I go there, I'm just going to mark this vehicle real quick, and I'll meet you over there. Now, this is the most notable change. So yes, the bosses have been buffed, as if they were not already deadly enough. But the sort of cheese, cheat, hack, glitch, whatever you want to call it, where most players said, oh, it's so easy to do this. All you have to do is run over the boss. Yeah, you can't do that anymore. So there's multiple issues that I have with that because of how it's implemented. I do agree that running over the boss is cheap. Running over the boss is kind of just a dumb mechanic that they had in the game in the first place, and probably it was there for simply no other reason than just, well, they didn't think that people would be simply running over the boss. But now you cannot do that. No matter how much you try, no matter what vehicle you use, no matter the type of vehicle, no matter whether it's armored, up-armored, no armor, or a skateboard, it does not matter. Because as soon as we get close to the boss, it's about a, I would say, 75-meter radius, but you will notice that the vehicle will just say DDoS attack, and you will not be able to move at all. So the other change that's massive is the fact that the drop rate for gas masks was reduced, and the durability of gas masks here in this ridiculous radiation zone was drastically nerfed. So while I'm doing this, trying to show the first thing here without dying, obviously we can run over the regular bots. I grabbed a gas mask, and look at how quick this gas mask is depleting. Like, this gas mask is just straight up disintegrating. And here we go, there's the chemist. We can't even get close. It says vehicle disabled, and we are SO mother freaking L. That vehicle will remain DDoSed until the chemist is dead. The same thing applies for the Juggernaut, and look at that. Our gas mask has already been depleted. What was that, 20 seconds? So the gas mask has been nerfed insanely. The bosses have been buffed to have a little bit more damage and health, and this permanent DDoS ability that will disable your vehicle's movement. In addition to disabling its vehicle movement, you lose momentum, and you cannot. It is physically impossible to hit the chemist or to hit the Juggernaut anymore with your vehicle. As if that wasn't enough, though, say you're lucky enough to have a vehicle like the LTV with a turret, the DDoS attack not only disables vehicle movement, but it also disables the use of the turret. Something that is completely asinine due to the fact that a DDoS attack affects electronics and electronic components. Now, the turret on the LTV is a M2 or Modus heavy machine gun. It fires the 50 BMG round and is all mechanical. A mechanical device, unless it has electronic components or is controlled by an electronic fire control system, would not be disabled by a DDoS attack directly. You could say that movement of the turret could possibly be disabled if the system was controlled via a electronic assisted, gyro stabilized, whatever. Anything electronic obviously could be affected by the DDoS attack, but simply firing the gun would not be affected by the DDoS attack. Same thing, so there's the chemist. Same thing goes over here for the Juggernaut. And I'll try to get to that to show you in the video, but we will probably get ambushed by other players because that's kind of what happens in this game mode. Now, personally, I absolutely despise that change with the DDoS because of the fact that when the radiation starts coming in and that zone expands, so does the chemist's area of operation, which means that so does the DDoS effect field. So now you might be driving along and not even going for the chemist or going for the Juggernaut, but wham bam, thank you ma'am, now your vehicle has been disabled. You cannot restart it unless you can kill the boss, and more than likely you will not have the time, armor, or firepower to do so. So personally, I hate that change, and the gas mask change is just utterly retarded. Unfortunately, I won't be able to show you with the Juggernaut, but hopefully now you know when it comes to the hidden changes making the DMZ all that much worse. So, brief guide, didn't turn out quite the way I planned because bots are OP and will delete you. Anyways, yeah, the bots are pretty OP. They don't need to buff them anymore, but that is now why DMZ became harder. I hope that you enjoyed the video, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask. At least now you know what's going on. It's not a random glitch. It is actually something they implemented into the game to make the bosses more difficult. But the nerf on the gas mask, I feel, was completely too much. I don't mind it, reducing the time a little bit, but reducing the time to less than, 20 seconds was just asinine. And then completely disabling your vehicle the entirety of the time, even if you're simply just driving through the area and you had no intention of going up against the boss, is also asinine. I really hope that the devs choose to remove that. They could very easily just implement a mechanic so that the boss took no damage from a vehicle hit, or only if the vehicle engaged directly the boss was it DDoSed. There's so many different things that they could have done, but that definitely needs to be rebalanced. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Till next time, stay frosty.